G'day, good morning, good evening, wherever you're watching. Welcome to the Intel Extreme Masters. Season 13 is upon us. Season 12 ended in Katowice, and quite the climax it was. Counter-Strike Global Offensive. It's really flexing that global title as we find ourselves now down under. I'm your host, Machine, for the entirety of this one, and it's my great honor to be guiding you through this one. It is going to be a blast. We are in Australia, first time for many of us, and it is going to be a first time for some of the teams in attendance as well. We've got so much to look forward to. We've got some of the top teams in Counter-Strike in attendance. At the moment, it is in flux. It is certainly looking still for answers which teams are going to be rising to the very top after what has been a complete disarray with rosters and everything else in between. Other things to look forward to throughout Sydney, we're going to be having the Cashes back, Chad and Henry at each other's faces, throwing fists in and out of the server. It's going to be a pleasure. And of course, we get that Sydney crowd. You guys, if you watched it last time, you know exactly what they have in store. First time for me. I'm looking forward to getting to see exactly what they can do in the Qudos Bank Arena when we do get there. But we do have some games to play. First of all, we have to see who is going to rise out of the two groups that we are running, and two streams as well, at least for the first couple of days. Let's go ahead and bring them up so you can see exactly how things are going to be going down. Here on the A stream, this is what we're going to be bringing you today with myself at the desk and your casters, the likes of Henry G and Harry to start things off. But we have Legacy versus Renegades, Cloud9 versus Greyhound. In fact, a lot of the Australian teams in attendance are in the A group, and you can see it's going to be going into best of threes towards the end of the day. You get NRG versus Astralis. That's very exciting on the A stream. Now, B stream as well, we have a second stream running parallel to this one. You get to see some of those Aussie blokes doing their thing to start us off, and you get the likes of FaZe versus Order. We're going to be seeing what Order can do. In fact, a rematch. We saw how well that ended for the Aussies last time. Nico's 1v3 still ingrained in my mind. Tyloo versus SK, Mouse versus Boot, and we're going to be seeing Fnatic as well flexing versus Chiefs. That's all coming up on the secondary stream today. Now, that's all coming up here. This is IEM Sydney. We're kicking off Season 13 of the Intel Extreme Masters, and I truly cannot contain my excitement.
Welcome to the Acer Predator pre-show.
Fortunately, I'm not alone on this desk to celebrate Sydney and to celebrate the Intel Extreme Masters. In fact, we have the local boy. We're back on his home soil. He's going to be showing us the ropes. It's Chad Birchall standing by alongside Janko Paunovic. It is the dastardly trio. We spend a lot of time talking about Counter-Strike, but Chad, you're on home soil right now.
It feels good to be home, Alex.
Yeah.
You know, I walked into the airport, smelled the air. There's all the normal stores inside. I was like, this is good. First time all year. So happy to be back.
Yes, indeed. Now I'm going to assume.
I think it feels like everyone is saying, Chad, how it feels like to be home, and he's like 5 hours from here.
Yeah, well, we are going to be taking a short break. It looks like some technical difficulties have plagued us here for the first day, so do stay with us, and when we come back, we're going to be breaking it all down and jumping into your first game.
The guy's out.
That was beast.
Game, record, and stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.
Yes, IEM Sydney, we are going to be jumping into this one indeed. Thank you for staying with us. Technical issues perhaps going to plague us as always for those first days, but thank you for joining us for what will be a celebration of Counter-Strike all the way here in the Australian region. I'm very excited because I've never been here. I've never got to explore it, and I was in the process of introducing our analysts. We have Chad Birchall and Janko Paunovic. Chad, let's just go ahead and say it. You haven't got to talk about, do this job. Despite being an Australian Counter-Strike pro, you haven't got to talk about the game, you haven't got to play the game on a regular basis here on home soil. You get to do it now.
Yeah, well, it's fun to be back home. And, you know, I think something that you said to me just yesterday about the whole jet lag issue, it really, you know, it resonates because all the players are up at 4 a.m. They're like, man, this is a rough time. As I experienced this every single event I went to, flying out from here, 24 hours of travel just to play a tournament.
How have you been handling it, Janko? I mean, I think you've been doing the best out of all of us. I think you've almost got 8 hours sleep.
Yeah, I've been doing great, actually. You know, I've been very disciplined about it, not taking 3-hour naps in the afternoon and, you know, going back to sleep if I wake up at 5 a.m. and all that stuff. I think the players are struggling a lot because they rarely go this side and get jet lagged, right? Usually it's going from Europe to North America and you're a bit used to it the way it goes. And here it's a bit more difficult. I think actually they could use a lot more discipline because, you know, the tournament is starting and everyone is still wrecked.
Yes, indeed. Discipline is needed, and discipline is going to be needed from the coaches, the in-game leaders, and the players because things have changed over in the map pool side of things. Dust 2 is going to be played here in Sydney. I mean, they said there is no perfect time to introduce it into the map pool. I'm glad we've done it now, if I'm honest, just because there are so many events back to back. We just have to rip that Band-Aid off.
It's definitely the right decision. You have to bring it in as soon as possible, especially with the major cycle coming up.
Yeah.
And Dust 2 is one of the most prolific maps in all of Counter-Strike history. This version is basically just reskin. There's very few changes other than the fact that it looks nicer.
Janko, do you think that because of what Chad's saying, it is just reskinned, there is a bit of an easier way for teams to get back into the flow of things?
I believe so. I think obviously there are small changes, right? You know, the B tunnels, the long doors to an extent, timings might have changed slightly, but in reality, the structure of the map is same, right? You're still going to see your mid to B splits a lot. You're going to see people giving up cat as CT and playing towards long and having an upper on long, right? I think those fundamentals will not change. Now, obviously, you know, in terms of teams and their map pools, Cobblestone being out, FaZe, Astralis, all that stuff, I don't think you're going to see a massive impact just yet because, well, those teams haven't had time to practice Dust 2 very much. So it's going to be interesting, the dynamic as we go into the tournament to see if maybe someone has practiced it and it's a pocket pick.
Yeah, especially for, let's not forget, there's a lot of teams here that are perhaps, you know, what the more local teams, the likes of Greyhound, Order, these Australian teams can perhaps have a curveball now if they've put their homework in. And we talk about these Australian teams, the majority of them are housed within Group A. So why don't we go ahead and take a closer look at Group A before we start breaking it down further.
Last year's finalists, FaZe Clan, come into IEM Sydney in need of a strong showing. Still the most consistent team in Counter-Strike, Kerrigan will hope substitute Exist can provide the support this star-studded lineup undoubtedly needs. Current IEM Sydney champions SK Gaming returned to Australia during a period of transition. Stewie 2K joins the roster in what many consider a surprise move. But if Fallen can put his new addition to good use, this team will be as dangerous as any that came before them. Cloud9 debut in Sydney with new in-game leader FNS replacing the departing Stewie 2K. Initial doubts were somewhat silenced in Marseille with impressive wins over G2 and FaZe Clan. But the Americans have a lot of work ahead of them if they are to reach the heights of the previous roster. Australia's top team Renegades missed out on playing in the Qudos Bank Arena last year. With a new look lineup and talented in-game leader Nifty, the trio from Down Under will do everything they can to make it into the arena. Legacy come in as last-minute replacements for Space Soldiers. They'll need their luck to continue if they are to pick up some results here at IEM. Qualifying from the Oceanic Qualifier, this will be the second IEM event after the World Championship for Order. Now they will fight tooth and nail to show a solid front on home soil. As the winners of the Oceanic Qualifier, Greyhound outlasted all domestic competition. Now, facing up against the world's best teams, they are faced with the ominous task of pulling off any upset win they can. Tai Lu, the giants of Asian Counter-Strike, battled their way through the Asian Qualifier to make yet another Intel Extreme Masters. Known for their upset wins in the past, opponents will not take anything for granted.
So a lot of the Aussies in this group is going to be fun to talk about and just to see how exactly this one's going to go down. No doubt there are some clear top dogs. Greyhound, despite being of the K9 variety, not necessarily one of them. I'm excited to see, though, what other thoughts and general consensus is here, Chad. Who are the dark horses of this one? It's clear the hard hitters. FaZe, Cloud9, undoubtedly. SK is a bit of a question mark. But, I mean, who are those going to be? What's the curveballs in
I
this
don't
group?
even know if we can paint any of these guys as dark horses. On paper, this is pretty clear cut, right?
Okay.
It should be something which most of the European and American teams can dispatch with ease. Now, obviously, Dust 2 could be an issue, but not in best of ones. It's just going to get banned away. That pocket pick, that chance to surprise isn't going to be there. And with a lot of these Australian teams towards the top tier lately, they've changed a member. Like, there was quite a period of time there where I think it was 3 or 4 of these teams all changed a player. They kind of a little bit incestuously moved each other around. And look, I'm going to be honest. They're not going to have much impact at this tournament. It's not fantastic.
Okay, well, talking of Australian teams, I have to ask, Renegades, Qudos Bank Arena, chances?
Yeah, I think they're probably the only one that potentially have a chance, and you look towards SK Gaming or Cloud9 because they meet so often in North America and all the online leagues and everything. And you know, you look at Group A and there's 4 Australian teams, and you still struggle to see them make it into the playoffs because of the best of 3 factor, right? And I agree with Chad. There's been a lot of shifting around in the Australian scene. Last year we had Chiefs, knock out North in the Swiss stage, right? That was the huge upset, and they only have 1 player left from that lineup in this particular tournament. So a lot of changes all over the place.
My question, sorry, Chad, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
I was
no.
just going to start taking a closer look at the SK FaZe gang.
That's where I was going to go with that as well. SK, FaZe, and Cloud9 all had a kind of a baptism of fire in Marseille, right? Now, Cloud9 were probably the most impressive out of the bunch. FaZe did as expected, and SK disappointed. But it's kind of out of the frying pan into the fire with this event, because if SK have another poor tournament, it's just been a downhill slope for them, even when they did still have Taco on the roster. We know there was the roster rumors with Simple and Flamey, or even more so in the murmurs in the back room. So for them to have another bad tournament here, that's going to be a big issue.
And I believe also, you said like their performance in Marseille, I think that's also relative to expectations, right? People didn't expect much from Cloud9 losing their star player, and they made it into the playoffs, but very narrowly, right? Their wins against FaZe 16-14, 16-13, against G2, double overtime. Props to them for grinding out those maps, but it wasn't convincing by any stretch of the imagination. So I think it applies for every single result we had in Marseille. It was all great, even Astralis being so dominant, right? But it's about this tournament and then Pro League finals. I guess like after those three, we're going to have a clearer picture of where everyone stands. Maybe FaZe was just a one-off in terms of having a bad performance there. Maybe Astralis can't keep up that level of play now that people have time to study their demos from Marseille and all of that. So it's going to be super interesting here to see how all these European North American teams perform.
And speaking of Astralis, they are in our second group. It's Group B. Why don't we go ahead and take a closer look at them while we break it down.
Mouse Sports, once dubbed as the poor man's FaZe, now move closer to leapfrogging them as they continue to impress. Astralis, champions in Marseille and the most efficient machine in World Counter-Strike, will settle for nothing less than the title here in Sydney. G2's latest addition, Mixwell, enjoyed a playoff appearance last year here in Sydney. NBK will want to go one step further in his quest to get the Frenchman back on track. Victors in Katowice, Fnatic returned to Intel Extreme Masters with a renewed sense of respect. The World Championship was a stark reminder that form is temporary, class is permanent. Energy are red hot at the minute as star snipers Cirque continues to shine. This is the chance on the international stage they have been waiting for. Chiefs fought through the Oceanic qualifier for a second shot at Intel Extreme Masters glory. They'll need more than the surprise factor in this cutthroat format. MVP PK snatched the top spot from Tai Lu in the Asian qualifier. They'll need to go above and beyond in Sydney to have any chance of qualification. Boot Dreamscape scraped through the Asian qualifier in surprise fashion. The Chinese will hope they can catch some of these veteran European lineups well and truly off guard.
Now, the question that I'll be throwing at our analysts simply is this one as clear-cut? Both of the groups, admittedly, do have much higher names in contrast to some of the opponents that they will be playing. I just want to know whether Chad and Yanko replicate those thoughts. Yanko, I mean, there are clearly some weaker teams here. I want to know, are there, another clear-cut three?
I think there are definitely more unknowns in this particular group. I would call Astralis and Mouse Sports a lock, really, for playoffs. But Fnatic, we know that they can be very up and down, right? And we've been hearing those rumors about changes, even after Katowice and Star Ladder, right? Golden's spot doesn't seem to be solidified no matter what the guy does. And also some of the lower-tier teams, right? Obviously, Energy, a big question mark, had some great performances online. Can they translate it to LAN? But also some of the Asian teams, I consider MVP can have a potential upset, maybe at least a series or a map, maybe because they've been having some good results lately, even on LAN, winning the CSGO Asia tournament, placing top 8 at WESG, right? So they have been steadily improving and have a good mix of veterans in Solo, Glow, and Zeph. I mean, Solo and Glow, 30 years old, legends even from 1.6, and, Xigan and HSK really, who are like the CSGO players in Korea, and they are the stars, really.
Truly. And I think, when we're talking about stars, I have to start poking at G2. I actually genuinely think that, bearing in mind, MVP, as you mentioned, talking of them, they're going up against G2, and I can't help but feel my confidence in G2 has completely faded.
Well, here's the thing. I think if you look at the stars within G2, pound for pound, they should destroy MVP. But the fact of the matter is they're trying to play a structured brand of Counter-Strike now. And that can be relatively easy to read, especially if this team is new to it, because they're just going to be doing it cookie cutter, which is something that MVP might be able to counter.
Sure.
In this kind of matchup, though, if you're G2, you should just play with disrespect. And I know that sounds like the wrong way to approach a matchup, but when you're so much better individually, you play on these big stages all the time, you're not going to have any nerves.
Okay.
You want to go into these games showing what you've got and just going for frags, basically.
Yeah, and what's interesting about that video as well, they called them Red Hot NRG. Now, Yanko, I mean, we obviously don't get to see them play as much as we'd like to. North American Pro League, of course, is probably the best place where we'd get to see them do their thing, qualifying for Dallas. They have been a team that's been turning heads as of late.
Yeah, and they also have a good mix of roles, right? A bit of experience, clear in-game leader in Dabs, clear star in Cirque, and also, guys who can fill the roles. Fugly's been around for a long time, right? You have guys like Breeze. So I think it's really a matter of, very simply, can they have the same level of performance on LAN? We saw it with Space Soldiers in Marseille. They were red hot coming into that tournament and bombed out completely in one day, losing 2 best-of-1s. Now NRG, granted, will have a slightly better chance playing a full best-of-3 series, but it really is like, can they be calm and collected as they are when they play online?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Now, we talked about Astralis. They actually have quite the path ahead of them. It's something that you identified very early on, Yenko, but it is the Intel Grand Slam. Just think it's going to take a quick glance at this, and we bring it up throughout the course of the next couple of segments, but just take a closer look at just how nice this path is. You need 4 events, and there are indeed 4 lined up for their coming months. Sydney, the first of them, and this could be a chance for them to truly get a bit of a run here, Chad.
Yeah, and based off their form and considering where the rest of the teams are at right now, this is Astralis, or the best chance we're going to see from any team to string multiple events together. As you can see on that graphic, no one's won 2 in a row, which we all thought SK was going to be that team, right? We all thought that they'd be the ones getting closest. Still have 2 in the bank, but with their current form, Astralis are the team who are looking like they can, I guess, take Sydney.
Yeah, it's scary.
Absolutely, and the last tournament in this Grand Slam cycle, really, before the player break is Cologne. It's 3 weeks after Brazil, so Astralis really have 4 tournaments left, to maybe really ride that wave and ride the momentum and maybe lock it in. But, SK has 2, Cologne is very tense, so they need to win 2 in 3, really. So obviously they have to turn their game around almost completely, but they have a chance to lock it in Brazil on home soil, Alex.
My goodness, there is a lot going on with the Intel Grand Slam alone, just to add extra hype, not only to this one, but to the coming events as well. Sydney, though, does look like it could be Astralis' playground for the second notch out of the 4 they need for the Intel Grand Slam. Now, let's go ahead and check in with Stunner. He is standing by. He's going to be our resident on the floor, the player floor. Let's see if he's standing by and see what's going down over there.
Yes, yes, indeed, Alex. And first of all, I just want to say the Intel Extreme Masters Sydney 2018 poised to be a hell of an event. And right now, I'm standing behind the Greyhound players. Of course, they do have a pretty big task ahead of them when they come into this tournament, looking to turn some heads. But of course, I'm standing here with Big Dick Stacy. Talk to me about the team's expectations as we go into this tournament.
So the team's expectations going in this tournament, we're pretty thick and pumped right now. We're going in, just heads up, going straight in there, nice and hard, and see what we got and deliver.
I don't know if I could have said it any better myself, but of course we heard what the Greyhounds said. Let's go ahead and check out what the other team said as well.
My name's Jordan Badgick, also known as Hats, and I play for Order. Every player in our team is very important. Siko and Liaz are in our star position roles. Chris, imagine being the in-game leader, also has a very important role in our team. We did make a roster change and bring in Ali, and obviously Ali and myself basically support and help everyone basically shine. So our biggest strengths, I think, our individual skills. We have a good sense of individually understanding how we should play, as well as Chris giving up a lot of space for us. He also calls in a way for us to excel as well. Our main goal, I think, well, for myself, but I'm sure for the others, is always trying to compete outside of Australia as much as possible, because it's actually very important. I think for our region is to get the experience and learning so much from versing other teams from other parts of the world. Obviously another goal is getting first at this event. It will be a very big achievement. These sort of opportunities is what everyone wants. We want to be able to experience better players, better teams, better scenarios. That's how we improve. That's how we improve our scene. And yeah, I think it's a very, very good thing. I hope we get a clean run through the bracket and get into the semis, and have a little bit of a grinder out in the semi-final upper bracket, but eventually winning. I don't want to say I don't think we'll lose, but we're very confident. So especially it's LAN as well, so it's our environment. We're very experienced on LAN, so yeah.
Vodafone presents the pre-match.
That was Order there. Let's not forget, you'll get to see them on the B stream right now. That's going to be going on. You can see the secondary stream just add a B to the URL you're currently watching. Throw it in 2 tabs, 2 screens. Everyone's got them nowadays, and you can go ahead and see all of the Counter-Strike that's going on here for our first day of IEM Sydney. They're taking on FaZe. Let's see if they can do better than the 16-1 I think they conceded versus that roster last time they met. It's going to be interesting to see. They sounded confident, though, and we're going to be moving into our first match now. In the essence of time, we're going to go a speed through this one. Our first matchup is an intriguing one. We are going to be seeing a all-Australian roster, basically battling. I say that. Renegades, they've got that nifty curveball. They've got Kassad behind them.
Jacob as well.
Jacob. In fact, yeah, it is a
Norwegian.
bit of a mess.
Yeah, and the whole game's going to be a bit of a mess because Legacy have a stand-in. Yellow, a player who, look, if you're watching at home, you probably haven't heard of him before, but he's been playing Counter-Strike through Australia, throughout Source, throughout CSGO. He looks a little bit similar to me. And it's going to be a shame that he's missing from the Legacy roster here. A little bit. A little bit. I'm giving people all the hard-hitting stuff.
Part of the analysis, but something's going to happen, Alex, that you probably wouldn't imagine possible. I'm not going to be the only Paunovic in the building.
Oh?
Because his replacement, Lacour, has the same last name as me.
Oh my God, 2 Paunovics in Sydney. Ripping
probably
it up.
some distant cousins, I assume.
You can have a chat to
very common last name. No, I haven't bumped into him yet.
That's exciting. Okay, well, so is the Counter-Strike, and the reason for that is I want to try and understand not only Renegades' chances, but also just how much damage they can genuinely inflict in this group and in this tournament.
Okay.
I am kind of excited, but since they got Jacob in, unfortunately, it is that same tale that you've been spinning for a while now, Chad, where their new addition, their stand-in, albeit a long-term one, is their best player, which makes me uncomfortable in terms of the longevity, there we go, of this roster.
Look, I think that the Renegades roster from the beginning, even when I was on the team, the star players and the standout consistents should have been JKS and Azza, right? Those guys should have been the ones to really light up the scoreboard, be the ones to have the team built around, and they haven't really lived up to that hype, I guess. And that's unfortunate when you watch the games and you do see Nifty towards the top of the scoreboard as the all-pro in-game leader and you see Jacob dropping 30 frags. It's not a bad thing. It's just you'd prefer consistency within the team to see that the roles are kind of panning out as you'd expect. In terms of going the distance in this tournament, and I'm looking past this Legacy game because I'm expecting them to win this with ease, that when they go up against the likes of the SKs, the FaZes, the Cloud9s, they're going to have a really good shot because we know that FaZe would exist. They weren't looking that hot in Marseille, even though they did what they needed to do. SK, obviously issues there. And Cloud9, the sample size is so small for all 3 of these teams that Renegades, they do legitimately have a shot to make it to the playoffs, to make it to those quarterfinals and be in front of the home crowd. That's going to be a driving factor for the likes of JKS, UCLO, and Azza, right? This is an opportunity of a lifetime for them.
It is truly to do what you've been doing. This is your passion, to be able to do it in front of fans who genuinely have been following your ups and downs throughout all of this. Now, talking of ups and downs, I do want to kind of start talking about the maps because maybe we get a cheeky dust too. We'll find out. Moving through it, looks like we're going to be taking a closer look nice and quickly. It looks like it was Legacy to purge the new addition to the map pool, and we end slap bang on the map we've seen 9,000 times. Mirage.
This is the thing. If you're Renegades, you just play to your comfort pick, right? You're not going to go for a curveball. You're not going to allow anything to slip through that you don't play. You just go to a map that you're better on, right?
Yeah.
Because you have all the experience. There's no point playing any risks in this. And Legacy, because it is vetoed to one map, they don't have any options as well. They just have to end up somewhere and hope that they can counter-strat. And that's kind of, I guess, one of the positives for an underdog. They know where the veto is going to end up, and at that point, they can just look at tendencies of Renegades. That's the only silver lining, I suppose.
I mean, it's a map everyone should have a firm grasp of at this point, Yanko. I guess for Legacy, they will be able to just kind of play their own game.
The new Dust 2, right? Everyone's playing it. Everyone knows individually how the map works, all the nades and all that stuff. And, we always tend to say that for an underdog team, it's good to play a map like Mirage or Cash, right? A relatively open map where it's not that difficult to get the bomb down. And maybe then in the after plan situations, right, some of your star players can step up and make the difference. And also against Renegades, right, most of their issues lie in the fundamentals, exactly in those situations, right? We see them, that Fnatic game on Mirage that we saw in Marseille, for example, they were getting like entry kills and advantages, 4v3 after plant, and then just Crims peeks from stairs and kills 3 people one by one. That should never happen. Yes, it's Crims, but a lot of players could do that. That player is supposed to be immediately traded, right? And then the advantages continue for you. And maybe that's a way in for Legacy coming off from a strong start, the usual underdog story, really.
Yeah. And I mean, when we take a closer look at Renegades and their results recently, it hasn't been an all too exciting tale. In fact, looking at their results, it's like, I can list off some of the North American teams they've lost to. We got a best of 3 loss versus NRG, which Okay, admittedly, a bit of an asterisk next to that. NRG are looking hot. But Team Rogue, you're not even getting 10 rounds versus them.
Yep.
They haven't had a great time as of late, online and offline.
Sure, I think, a couple of factors need to come into play here, that they did travel back from Marseille and have to play these online matches instantly, which we all know isn't the easiest thing to do. But yeah, it's always been the problem with Renegades, up and down, showing some good results at one tournament and the next just completely dropping off the face of the earth. So consistency is one of the problems that these guys have. I think playing to their strengths is something that they don't always do as well, which sounds like a weird thing to say, but they want to try and fix the issues and steer away from,
We'll find out how it goes down. It does seem like our analysts have made it very clear, though, that they're expecting to see Renegades walk away with this one. An easy start for the Banditos. We're going to be jumping into the action right here, right now. Mirage, our first map, and our first game sees two local heroes battling versus one another. Bit of a mismatch, we'll find out, though, as we head over to your caster desk. It's going to be Renegades versus none other than Legacy. Let's get into the action.
Thank you so much, Alex. Yes, it is going to be Mirage, Legacy versus Renegades. Harry, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, Henry.
How's the jet lag treating you?
It was day one was pretty brutal. Arrived at 5 a.m. but since then I've been on the Aussie sleeping pattern.
Well, this will be quite the exciting game. A bit of a derby coming into this one. Obviously, Renegades the favourites for it, but I like the fact we have these unknown quantities coming into the game. Legacy, I'm sure almost no one's watched their games before, but obviously they're kind of big names within the Australian region. And I assume this is live now. 0-0 is getting ready for the warm-up here. It's going to be Renegades side on the CT side from what we can see. Are you familiar with the Legacy boys at all? Have you had to watch their games?
I'm going to be brutally honest and say no. I haven't really seen anything from Legacy. Of course, they're coming in replacing Space Soldiers, right, who couldn't make it here. But I took a little look at how they did, and they did all right coming through the qualifier. Of course, they didn't make the cut, but then they've come in now. They've taken this opportunity, and what an opportunity to get a chance to play potentially on stage. I mean, they have a very, very long route to go to get there, but this is one of the biggest shots I think we've really seen this team get.
He's a bit of a unit, isn't he? He's going to be ready to frag. I think that's Blitz who's ready to go. You can see Yanko's cousin, apparently, on the end there as well. Legacy, a team, yes, just trying to prove themselves, get some international experience, and show us what they're made of. I think this is always a great sort of platform to show what your team's capable of. You're probably not going to win the game, but if you can have a decent performance, maybe get to double digits, take the demo back and learn from it. Stats! That's a lovely shot. Nifty does get absolutely railed there at the start, and that's the PT50 coming to actually see more and more teams bring that out for that long-range duel to actually go toe-to-toe with the USPs.
Yeah, what a shot to land. That's already the man advantage going the way of Legacy. Now Renegades, what are they going to do to try and answer back against this? We've got Azza going in over towards short. And actually over in apartments, there's going to be Jacob. But first, it's Azza put to the test. He's going to try and lay down the pain, but he's going to get finished off. Another kill coming in from Stat, the PT50 King. As he's onto a double now, and he's helped open up this A bomb site. Jacob is the unknown factor, though. He's up in Palace. Ustillo's wrapping in through lower tunnels. They do have a pretty good ground to try and retake this site from, but we have to see some kills come in.
Here we go. 5-on-3 Renegades to pull this one back. What a fantastic start from the Legacy squad, especially Stat, showing us that they can compete, at least in the pistol round so far. Ustillo looking towards window, and he might have a couple of kills available to him. That PT50 keeps striking. Ustillo's dropped, and Lons will find the kill. Surely a lock-in victory now for Legacy.
Just Jacob and JKS left, and while these two have been very, very good, they're so far away from this B bomb site. Rotation's going to take so long to come through. The one thing they could have going their way is that bomb's only just now going down. They have to first try and clear out the man over here on short, and that's going to be Stat. He's already got 2 big kills. It was him who opened up this round, and now he wants to try and close it out as well. JKS goes by, and Stat's going to go ahead and get 3 rather. Lons is there to help out. He's the man with the double. And Legacy, they're going to find their first round. They lock in the pistol, Henry.
Well, that's going to get your adrenaline pumping, especially Stats as he goes towards middle. Rails the player towards the window area, and that's a really nice way to kick things off. Legacy take the lead. Remember, this is a best-of-1 environment, so upset certainly on the card, but we'll see. Renegades will be force buying here, and I'm sure the excitement will die down quite quickly. Renegades certainly got a fighting chance here in the second round to bring up those CZs. And Nifty, of course, the Orpa just on the full eco, ready for the AWP. On the CT side, not an ideal way to kick things off, but I'm sure it'll be recovered. Stats, the hero of the previous round, will head towards middle and see who's available in front of him. Azza resides in the CPL house. A couple of players towards the connector as well.
Yeah, that's JKS and Jacob down here in connector. They're just going to be biding their time. Azza As you said, he's taking up position aggressively down through short here. Legacy, they're being very, very methodical in clearing out this mid area. They don't want to throw anything away. You know how strong the CZs are in this current era of Counter-Strike. That's a bit of damage exchange left and right early on over in mid. Legacy look like they're going to give it up, though, and start to walk over towards this B-bomb site. A couple of players over in apartments. They're going to go to join up with Soju. That's 4 of them now. You still out. He's going to stand here all on his lonesome, and it's him versus the world as they come his way. You still out. What's he got for us? 1 kill going to come in. He is going to get traded out, but he's got support from Azza. And Azza's not going to go down just yet. He's buying time for the rotations to come through, and this is pretty crucial. He's going to do damage, but he does fall at the hands of Blitz. So 3-on-3. Lakor's been tagged up, and that bomb now going to go down.
Retake begins, but looking quite dicey now for the Renegades boys. Blitz, though, not the cleanest of kills, but the all-count JKS. Probably going to finish this one off. He is considered the king of clutches within the Australian region. And yeah, I was about to say, well, it was a poor kill from Blitz, but he should recover from it. But if that was a quick execution, probably could have backed their team up there. JKS does get the job done, and the bomb will be defused quite comfortably. So a bit of a blunder there from Legacy. It looked like it was a lock-in round, especially those equal exchanges towards the B side. Bomb planted, but JKS rises to the occasion, and we Renegades striking right back there. Round number 3 coming through. Of course, Renegades now have the rifles. They're going to have all the utility, lots of money to work with here. And I'm assuming the force buy from Legacy here as well, going for the more conservative option. P250s, a CZ, and no armor. A lot of teams would like to force buy in this particular round, knowing they can quickly reset and answer back and not allow the Renegades economy to swell out of control at this point. But still, if you're the underdog team, I guess this is a viable option as well, knowing you to do your best work with the tactics, the strategies, the utility, and we'll see if they can even get a bomb plan here. Very unlikely with just a very basic weaponry here.
Yeah, they're going to try and take control of mid. They don't have any utility to get a hold of it, though, so this is just going to be a shooting gallery for Azza. They are out in the open. That's going to be him mopping these up. Renegade should be able to lock on it to this round. Legacy, of course, as you said, they're only buying up in the next. It's an interesting decision to make.
Yeah, a lot of top teams, at least within the European region, will take the force buy here just to strike back straight away. And you can see Renegades keep all 5 players alive. They have a buy in hand now. So Legacy, we'll see what they can bring to the table here. They do bring out the AKs. I'm still fine. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying it's different from what we usually see. And we'll see what these 5 AKs can cause some damage here. It is a very execution-heavy based map. You can see the smokes are there, the Molotovs, the flashbangs. And we don't know a lot about the roles of Legacy. I'm interested to see who will shine. So far, it's been Stat, but hasn't fragged since that pistol round. We're going to round number 4 here, and Renegades with 1 AK in the hands of JKS. Certainly the star player of that squad, I would say, as they sent 3 players towards middle. It's a pretty standard looking round. You can see 3 mid, 1 in B apartments, and 1 towards Palace. This is what we call a default, as Stat looks to challenge any aggressing CT players here.
He's going to get himself flashed through. He's all the way down by connector. Jacob is here, peeking over the top, and he also has Azza over on short support from Nifty. They running this 3-man hold over in mid. Legacy, they're showing they're pretty fond of the old mid aggression, so you can't blame them for trying. Now, Azza has to be a little bit careful. He does expect that there might be a man down here beneath window. Stat just crouching beneath his crosshair. Will go undetected for the time being. Legacy, in the meantime, they've got it regrouped over here on ramp. They're going to try and go for the set piece into the A bomb site. JKS, he's got his work cut out for him. 4 players coming his way, and JKS is able to find the first. That's it, though, as he gets traded out by Lons. And Frank's going to go back and forth. Jacob trying to hold on, but he does go down. And just like that, it's all onto you still 1v2.
Certainly is. This is a bit of a turnaround. I didn't think Legacy would make this much of a dent. Ustillo. We'll see whether he can clutch this one out. He has not got a kit, barely any utility, but he does slide on in towards CT spawn here. Can't find the shot. Good positioning from Legacy. That's a big round for them to pick up. So the financial decision to go with the buy this round certainly works out. Lons with 3 kills there. And the execution was pretty much spot on. It's actually JKS to open up the fragging. If he converts that frag, pretty much a lock-in round, but he missed slightly, and Lons certainly punished him for it. So there we go. 2-2. But like we said, Renegades still had a buy in hand with that clean sweep against the P250s and Glocks. Nifty, the star sniper of Renegades, certainly will be turning some heads here on Mirage. We'll see whether he can show us what he's made of. I think this is one of his best maps. One is that on Cash. Like, he has some crazy flick shots and clutches on this one. And we'll see if he can cause a dent as we get into round number 5. Interesting. Soju's got a Mac 10. But if you think about it, Renegades have 4 players without helmets. That's going to cause a lot of damage here. Another execution. One player holding towards middle. Lacour going to be flashed out there, but Nifty. I was about to say, not going to miss that one, but he does. This is looking a little bit scary now.
Yeah, Nifty's got his work cut out for him. He's going to make the decision to try and go through this smoke. He's in danger of getting caught out. He's somehow still alive. The bomb will go down. We have this flank coming in, but that's going to get shut down in the meantime by Blitz, as we just saw that. Nifty still unable to find anything from CT. He has 2 players here to try and back him up. Jacob up through connector. Man advantage in favor of Legacy. Pressure's going to be on now for Renegades as that time still continues to tick away. They don't have a kit, so they have to move very, very quickly in the retake. They're going to start to creep on in. Nifty's been able to find them first, but damage done by Lacour as he's going to double down. Finally, the trades do come through. It's Azza and Nifty 2-on-2. There's no time left. They have to try and back away. And that's going to be the round going the way of Legacy. They find themselves a 3rd there, Henry.
It's bad to say, Nifty could go down the bomb there as well. We're just about makes it to the pit and CT spawn. 10 HP, but he does keep the AWP. Legacy actually looking pretty decent here. An execution-based team, you can see why they made that decision to get the AKs out instead of relying on the firepower of the CZ. I'm liking their game plan so far. You saw that perfect hold towards T-Spawn as well, anticipating a push from the B apartments. That was Blitz. And perfect frag from him. Execution was decent. And Renegades, they might have been better off saving at that point. I think the fact they had no kits about halfway point, probably want to keep 2 or 3 players alive. And Nifty can carry round single-handedly. We'll see whether he can handle the responsibility here. Round number 6, and Legacy have the lead, but still very early days. This should be a lock-in round. Nifty will go tagged up at the very start. I think he took a nade to the face. Ustillo was working out for him here, but he might be able to get a frag with a PT-50. Not quite. Lons takes him down. That should be round complete, considering there's no other pressure from the CTs and the B-bomb site here.
Yeah, Az is just going to try peeking in because he's only got the USP, and if he can get away with the rifle, then that's a win in his book. But Legacy going to be on to a 4th, and I mean, Henry, you know, we're kind of, you know, we've painted Renegades as the team to win here.
Yes.
You know, I think, you know, there is no doubt that they're a team that's accomplished a lot. But if you recall from the last IEM Sydney, I mean, it was kind of there was Chiefs doing the upset
Took
run,
down
right?
North, right?
Yeah. These sort of, you know, lesser known teams to maybe the rest of the world, the other ones that are quite big in Australia, have been a bit of a bane for Renegades at these events.
You would think, though, Renegades would be the one exception to that. They're not the sort of team that would let another Australian take them down, right? Certainly, the coach, Castard, will make sure we can't be embarrassed, and as a matter, we're going to make sure we do watch their demos and work out how they play. Still very early days here. We're obviously just kind of painting a narrative of what could happen, but I still expect Renegades to win this one. But Legacy, great start to build off this momentum. They will win the round quite convincingly there, and it's going to be Nifty to save the AWP, so good job by him. Didn't go down. Another full buy here, but we're seeing the AWP come out for the first time in the hands of Blitz, and we'll see whether he can get it done here, toe-to-toe. With one of North America's most explosive snipers, I would say. Like, he does a lot of impressive high-flying things. Round 7 here. 1 kit available. A lack of utility for the CTs as well. I was about to say, maybe a change of pace is in order, but still, they're just going to stick to their game. Only had 1 proper gun round so far. As we get into this one, Blitz ready and waiting for any sort of pressure towards B. He got it, and also received a bullet to the chest. Nifty takes him down, but not for long. The trade comes through. Stat gives them an opening here. The incendiary is quite disastrous for him. Burning alive, they're a little bit awkward now, just hiding in the corner. As he does maintain the 4-on-4, Azza will now have to hold on to the B-bomb site alone.
Yeah, you saw the switch up that Renegades tried to run there by moving Nifty over to the B-bomb site and then swapping Ustillo out down into connector. And while it does net them that first frag, the trades from Legacy have been, you know, kind of very, very impressive thus far. Really well, we've seen them winning a lot of these rounds. The communication's definitely there. And they're going to start to rotate back from this B-bomb site. They're going to leave Lons perhaps headed through lower tunnels, and he's going to start to divert down. The bomb's back in T-spawn. 3 players for Legacy moving over towards this A-bomb site.
Well, here we go. They have been focusing heavily towards A. Lots of set pieces, good teamwork, good trades, you just pointed out. Renegades with 1 smoke remaining, and Incendiary, both on the back pockets of Ustillo. 35 seconds, JKS needs to start showing some form here. That will do it. Takes down Lacour, and they take the man advantage.
Jacob, that was a massive opportunity. How's he missed that? Lon's going to go ahead and make it a 3-on-3 as he finds that frag down and connector. Now suddenly the pressure's on to the rest of the Renegades boys. JKS down from CT. Trying to do damage. Then they're going to hold them back, and Lons is in with a second. He's making this round very, very tricky for Renegades, and he's not done yet. He's still dancing around at the back of the site. Azza moving up the stairs. Lons goes peeking into it. 3 big kills, and oh my goodness, he is just tearing Renegades apart. JKS is the only man left, and he is not long for this round. He's going to go ahead and back away. And that's Legacy in with a 5th. A big kill missed by Jacob down there towards Connector, you feel like.
Yeah, red face for him. He's a world-class player. He was a big name last year, 2016 as well. He was one of the absolute biggest names. And that was a very embarrassing miss from him. That's a full 180. Lonzo the pull at the back. Great shots from him. Great kills, but he shouldn't have been able to get one. Jacob, certain kill. And in a best of one, you can't afford to make those sort of mistakes. Votes pass to call the timeouts, and I agree, probably going to need it, Renegades. Get your act together. What is going on here? Legacy are thriving in this environment. Lons especially, what a round that was. He had a couple of those big ones so far. Soju hasn't even posted a frag yet, and they're up 5-2. Looking at the money now for Renegades, and indeed the faces. Things looking a little bit worrisome, considering on the CT side, Harry, that's obviously the most favoured side, not by much, but certainly don't want to be 5-2 down. It's been hard-fought road for Renegades. Haven't really had that really amazing event for themselves. Haven't really shown us they are capable of great things. This has been like constant lineup changes and trying different things and disappointing finishes at big events they get to. What's the buy here? Number 8, CZ's 1M4 for JKS, of course. Legacy. This could be a bit of an upset here. Who knows? As we get further and further. Having a look at the initial setup here for the Renegades, there will just be quite standard procedure. 3 players towards B though. Mons with a pretty decent grade towards Adder. Doesn't do too much damage, down to 62. As he pushes towards that smoke. Bomb still in T-spawn. They're playing a very defensive round, an intelligent one. When you're up against the CZ, you do not want to rush B. You don't want to go to set P straight away. Just feel the map out. What kind of stack are they got? Will they make mistakes like this? And Lons is really doing a good job once again. Takes 2 down. Well, he senses a player behind him. Oh no, Massey's going to kill absolutely everyone in front of him so far. I feel like you said I will get this one here. There it is. It's the frag, but it might be too late.
It certainly looks that way, Henry. You still have JKS left alive. And JKS going to try and probe into the site, but that flash, I think that's enough to deter him. He's held back from pushing in over towards CT. Legacy, this is looking very, very good. Lons has been, nothing short of impressive thus far. He's looked utterly fantastic in all of these rounds for Legacy.
Yeah, pushing towards B, and like I said, discipline was the operative word there. Pushing forward, waiting for them to make a mistake, which they certainly did. Guns, 2 of them down. Sure, he goes down to Ustillo, but he got the information still, and his teammates can safely plant on the A-bomb site. So Ustillo saved the AK-47. This was a bit of a partial buy, just CZs, a few grenades. They're going to save the M4 again for JKS, so they'll have a nice, healthy purchase into the next round. They really need to pull their socks up now. Renegades are looking relatively amateur, and it should be the other way around. They should be schooling Legacy, considering the matchup and the context of this game. And Renegades, you would think this is the one event they really want to make the playoffs, Harry. This is, they want to perform in that arena. They want to be in front of the crowd. And this is not the most promising way to kick things off.
Definitely not, especially when you consider Legacy a player with a stand-in right now as well, right? I mean, Yellow couldn't attend, so that's why we have, I think it was Lakor brought in to replace him. So that's like another kind of notch going against Legacy right now, and they're just defying all expectations. Renegades trying to get their act together. They've got Jacob and JKS over here towards this A-bomb site, and it looks like they're going to get tested pretty quickly into this round. Nifty's going to take up a position down towards Connector, but he starts to fall out, and he will be able to rotate up pretty quickly. Jacob's fully flashed, but he has support from JKS, and together they're going to start to shut down this push. Blitz is over in Palace. While he has been able to drop Nifty, the AWPer for Renegades, I feel like maybe this is going to be the end of his run. Jacob just holding him back up in Palace. This flank round from Stat could lead to something as he's heading in through lower tunnels. You can see that on your screens right now. And he's going to go creeping up through Connector. I'm not entirely sure the Renegades are aware of this. It's going to come down to timing. JKS just repositions.
No one's watching Connector at all, are they? This could be problematic. Less than a minute now, smoking off towards jungle to buy Stat a bit of space here so he can safely make it out of the aforementioned position. Now going towards Shadow, he could cause some damage here. Jacob does hit that shot, takes him down, and that should be the round at this point. Blitz is desperately trying to wallbang towards Shadow. It's now down to Soju. I think he's posted a frag so far, but Blitz, that's a great shot by him. Can't convert it to a second. 6-3. That's much better by Renegades, looking like at least they had control of the situation. He followed that player from Connector, though. Could have caused a massive disturbance towards Shadow, but luckily Jacob does find some form there. Finds his 5th frag, and Soji still 0-0-5, and 6-3. Timeout comes in. I felt like the execution-based gameplay is where they're going to thrive. It looks like they're that kind of team. I think pound for pound, you have to say Renegades are going to be better than them, but their execution's looking on point, and Renegades are looking rusty right now.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about that. Even kind of towards their the end of their time over towards the ASL Pro League, right? They started to fall off a bit there. I mean, you kind of have to put an asterisk by that because of the travel back from Marseille, right? But saw them play versus Rogue, I think it was, and it was a pretty disappointing showing, all things considered.
Yes.
There were a few other games where it was like they didn't look as confident as they should. I think they even had a game versus Dignitas, which Dignitas only won 2 matches.
You're the caster within the Pro League in North America. I was wondering, how's he got all this information?
Yeah,
that makes more sense now. I was like, wow, he's done his homework.
No, yeah. I've been really reading up,
No,
Henry.
that's good, because you're going to have to hold my hand in some of those bits of information I just don't have available.
And we're just both equally as clueless with the Australian stuff, so
well,
it's a nice in between.
We're learning as we go along, and I'm impressed with what I've seen so far. Lons, what else have you got for us as he jumps out the apartments? Unfortunately, no high-flying antics this time. Soju just posts his first frag, but it will be short-lived. So that was a change of pace there from Legacy, just trying to drop a very fast execution there right at the beginning of the round. Didn't really work out for them. It was a nice idea. It's good to change up the pace. You can see they've got a plethora of strategies here, but I think this will be their eco. We have got Soju on 6k, so maybe just a partial buy. You can drop some pistols for the boys. Round of 11, quite a fast-paced game so far. Nifty, 6-6, still on the AWP, and this is where Renegade should start to turn things around. I've said a bated breath. From what I've seen so far, maybe not, but considering their money and Legacy starting to drop off a little bit, Renegades getting warmed up, used to the environment, just blowing up the cobwebs, as it were, as Nifty will be challenged here. Going to hit that shot. He hasn't missed a few today, I'll say that, but Azza not missing anything this time. AK-47 strikes with force, takes down 2, and at this point you can just fall back. That's the round completed. Don't need to do anything crazy. No highlight reels required. Just win the round at this point.
Yeah, don't try and play yourself and make it too flashy. You still always going to go to spot out Lons. I was wondering when that would get discovered. It's just stat left. He's got himself a Deeg. He was a bit of a pistol king, if you recall, in that first round.
That's right.
So, you know, maybe he could do some damage here. That's what he's hoping over towards Connector. And he's going to have Jacob. He hears him. Here's his little feet tapping, and Jacob going to go and take his head clean off. So Renegades, they get a 5th. And, you know, I mean, I think the one thing that we have to take into account is Legacy. You imagine they are going to do a bit better over on that T side anyway. You know, they can kind of rely on some of the more basic executes, obviously having the stand-in and stuff like that, right? You imagine on the CT side, they're going to struggle a bit more. So I think they're going to look to try and chain together as many rounds as they can here. And they certainly can't be too disappointed with it right now. They're going to get another buy-up.
I think you're absolutely right there. Legacy probably will struggle a bit more up against the AK-47s and Renegades when they're dictating the pace of the game where they want to go. You challenge at 1vx situations. So yeah, Legacy, great job so far, but going to have to dig a lot deeper as we go into round number 12 here. Stats towards middle. No CT aggression. Renegades have showed quite a lot of respect, I'll say that much. Chad was saying they needed to push around, find those frags, which I agree with, but they have looked a little bit caged, and understandably so, considering some of the rounds they've given away so far. Stats waits towards that connected, using the smoke as a veil here. And he'll be naded up down to just 46 HP. Send himself a little connector smoke here, and he'll try and work towards that area again. Luckily that nade didn't do too much damage. Smoke towards short, one's towards the jungle area, and he'll try and work his way in again.
Yeah, Stat's the man leading the way. Now Jake, yes, he has gone out to drop the man that was heading out through Palace. Stat going to just miss the timing, but now he spotted Jacob. Jacob is going to fall. Stat still pushing in. You have to be wary. Azza lurks in that smoke, and they're not being given entry into the site. Now he's going to come through. That's the second. Azza's on form in these last couple of rounds, and he's going to complete it with the 3K. The hat-trick locked in, and Renegades will get themselves a 6th round. Azza in particular has looked very, very good in these last couple of rounds for Renegades, and that's kind of what we need to see. They spoke on the desk briefly about how you always kind of hoped the powerhouses of this team would be Azza and JKS, and how that never really kind of came through. Jacob is still really the man that we look at, but you know, it's a good showing thus far from Azza.
Yeah, he's actually looking like one of the better performers so far, absolutely. And finally, Legacy will deep down to just the pistols here. CZs, Deagles, Lons with no armor here, so first time for Renegades to retake the lead. And things starting to stabilize at this point, says the Renegades players start to get a lot of money here. You still owe $13,000 for him. And Azza, just shy of 12k, so they're pretty much set for the rest of the half here. I doubt Legacy win this one. If they do, it'll be a massive upset, considering they've got no grenades, and Nifty making sure it's a safe round. Takes down Blitz. And now 5 versus 3. Should be able to get one more here. The call will be taken down, but Lons does find 1 kill. Looks like this will be the end of his run. I don't think we're winning this out 1 versus 4. Jacob looking to shut him down. See Nifty with the wallbang, and there it is. Renegades do take the lead here. 7-6 on the CT side. So a bit of an uncomfortable start, but it's back to a more convincing scoreline now.
Yeah, no, most definitely. I'm kind of thankful to see that. You know, normality's been restored. We're kind of seeing now what we expected to see in the beginning.
Yeah.
It took them a while to get going, but now they're moving along just fine. This is that nice 3K from Azza. That should be all fresh in our brains.
There we go. Round 14 and Nifty. Now starting to feel it. You can see he's not caged in CT spawn anymore. Not holding the window. Showing us that he does want to push for some of these kills. It's what he's known for. And we'll see if it works out for him. Certainly does. Does take a bullet to the head, but luckily it was through the wall. Finds stats, and he'll be able to fall back there. Nades towards the mid-box. I think that will connect as well. Certainly does. Soju having a very rough game so far. Only 1 kill for him. Lons, fortunately, can't best JKS this time. Before trying to do whatever he can to answer back. But this is where Renegades look like they've got in 5th gear now. They're more comfortable. The economy's stabilized, and they're winning pretty much every single one-on-one duel.
Ooh, that's nice from Azza. There we go. More kills coming in. It's him and JKS. And Jacob all up towards the top of this board. Nifty's now kind of joining him. He still is falling behind a bit, but there is still time for him to wake up. Renegades 8-6, 2 rounds to their advantage, and Legacy going to be forced buying down in the last round of this first half. They're going to have a pretty decent buy, all things considered. 2 Galils, 3 AKs, decent bit of utility as well here and there. Not really enough for them to go back to one of those set pieces that we know they like to run, Henry.
Yeah, you need the 3 smokes is that post plant situation. You'd have not a lot to work with. Better just do a default at this point. Looks like maybe changing things up towards B. Usually want to smoke those 2 archers on your screen right now. Flash in, and that Molotov could set them up for a wall bang here. Not going to go for it though, Renegades, and Justillo. It's Lons again that will be striking with that AK. Grenades being thrown. Lots of damage inflicted, but the smokes are decent. You can see the city's having to fall back here as they're taking a lot of damage through the smoke. Bomb should be planted, which it is, and maybe a last minute round here from Legacy to tie things up. Well, as close as you can at 8-7.
Now Jacob in through apartments he goes. He's going to have to check the close right. Soju's here, and he hasn't had many kills, but that one is a pretty big one to find. Just Nifty and JKS in the retake. JKS is able to open up, but they still have so many players yet to find. Time's ticked so far down as well, and Stat is going to finish things off at the end, 8-7 at the end of the first half.
Well, all things considered, if you'd have told Legacy at the start of this game, you can get 7 rounds on the T side, you know what, they'd probably take it. But for now, Harry, we're going to take a quick break, like the players will, and be right back.
A surprisingly explosive first half from Legacy heading into the second. Can Renegades turn the tides? Or will we see Legacy start to pull ahead? Henry, how are you feeling about this one?
I'm very excited what Legacy are bringing to the table. I didn't expect much at all. I'll have to say, though, it's more Renegades looking rusty to me. Like, sure, Legacy capitalized on the poor performance the Renegades are displaying, but still 8-7, anyone's game. Remember, best of ones can lead to very exciting finishes. As we get into the second half, Renegades now switching over to the T side. We're going to see smokes, flashbangs, and of course, some upgraded pistols there. Nifty on the CZ, surprisingly. You know, most teams are going to go for that P250. Quite standard stuff, though, with the execute looking like he'll be coming in. Smoke towards steps and towards jungle. Pretty standard procedure here. Can they find the frags? It's actually a little bit different. There's a smoke towards the connector. As we'll see whether Soju can start to show some form here. Lakor and Blitz will be challenged as Renegades swarm towards that A-bomb site.
Yeah, Lakor's going to get forced out of CT. They do just go ahead and take control of it. 5-on-5 in the retake, like we're fresh out of the retake server here. And Lakor, he's the man leading the charge. He does have Lons with him. They're going to try and employ the boost, but Renegades, they've read this well. They're going to go hunting for these kills, and they are going to find them. All the kills go the way of Renegades. Here's Soju, and he's had a pretty quiet first half. Now 1v3. This would be the time to step up if ever there was one, but he's just getting toyed with. Renegades playing with their food. Oh, they're going to go for the knife, and nearly. He gets scraped with it, but Jacob's going to steal it at the end.
Yeah, his dignity remains intact there. Might need a drink of soju after that one as we get into the second round. Renegades, lovely little execution there. You can see Legacy going for the full retake, but the smoke's down there, focusing on city spawn. That's normally the approach you want to go for, is stopping the rotating CTs in transition, shutting them down before the retake can even begin. And this is where things become very problematic for Legacy. Renegades get the pistol here. They have the momentum up against what I assume is a force buy here. Sort of, yeah, Stat and Blitz not joining the armor, but 3 players all in with the CZ's armor fully investing into the round. And this is better. Renegades looking quite poised now. No rushes, just holding up. Default at the start. Feel it out. Work out there's a stack here. Are they getting aggressive at the start? Hold every choke point, like Az is doing right now. Common pushes towards middle. Underpass. A ramp, just only holding those spots and making sure CTs aren't presenting something a little bit different at the start. Then you go into your default. Then you can go for your execution and eradicate those risks. Use the Molotovs, flush CTs out. And this should be a little bit of a slower round, but Renegades can't afford to make any mistakes at this point.
That's very true. He's a man who's made a few mistakes. You still owe over towards apartments. He's looking to try and clear the way. Actually going to start to fall back. And the one thing I'm wondering, Henry, right, is looking at this. You know, you've got Nifty, the IGL, of course, for Renegades, and he's. Do you think maybe he perhaps there's a bit of a harder task cut out for him, not being too familiar with Legacy and how they play? Like, how much research goes into these?
I think when you're playing against these sort of teams, it's always better off just to focus on your own game. You start mixing things up too much, you go into uncharted waters. That's when things can fall apart. I feel like if it's someone a little bit harder hitting than Legacy, maybe a real hot shot Asian team who's got some crazy players, maybe you want to change things up. But this should just be Renegades sticking to that game. Lakor will get 1 kill there. Jacob with the trade frag coming in. Soju's got to work it out for him as Blitz will hold the connector with him. Nifty watching the players pushing towards short and indeed the window. As you can hear footsteps coming in, should be a couple of guaranteed frags for him. Nothing to write home about as Lons will take him down in the end, but that should be round guaranteed with the bomb planted. Of course, CT's about kits here. It's up to Stat to try and hold on to this Galil with Lons, and might as well just try and save the weaponry here. There's no chance of winning this round, but get a second bite of the cherry into the next one if they can manage to save a Deagle. Galil, obviously Lons with the CZ as well, he can drop that to a teammate, so not all is lost. The round is, but you'll still have some weaponry for the next. Stack can even find a kill here, we'll see.
Nah, he's not going to find it. JKS is going to take that all day long, so they managed to deal with one of the players who does try to exit. Renegades, they reach double digits, they're going to go 10-7 up. As they're able to go out and find it this second. They managed to get that converted reasonably cleanly. They have lost Nifty and Ustillo, obviously, which, you know, I think they would have liked to have avoided. But they're now going to have a chance to try and build up some money with these SMGs into this round.
Well, here we go. Galil on Lons, certainly the MVP so far for the Legacy squad. 16 kills from him. He's actually not quite top fragging. JKS will take that moniker, but we'll see whether this can have any sort of impact. The drop CZ, like I said, will be in the hands of Lakor. Round number 18. And Ustillo with the MAC-10 should be able to farm some cash. That's the objective of this round. Very unlucky that you lose it. Ideally, you want the SMGs finding the kills. Send them in first. It's the lowest risk factor. If you send the rifles in first, a chance you give that up to a CT. If you give away a MAC-10, that's not actually a big deal. They're pretty useless against fully armored players. And we'll see whether Renegade's slow approach will work out once again. Flash towards that connector. Like I said, Mac-10 goes down. You haven't given away an AK. That's absolutely fine. You're still going to win the round. Get a bit of information. There's 3 players there, and Azza can come up and clean things up.
Yeah, they've since actually departed away from connector, and now they hold down here towards the bottom of stairs. You have to be a little bit careful because that Khalil is still up on lawns, and Azza's now going to fall over in mid, so they've got themselves a rifle to try and work with. This is a little more costly than Renegades would have liked. OG peeking on it, and they might try boosting up to grab that Galil, and that does look to be the case. Oh, maybe not. Stat hasn't thrown it down. They might actually try and peek into this a bit. Soju with the Mac-10 over on stairs. Any kill he gets, that's $600, but he's going to find nothing. So he goes down. Renegades now will be on 2 and 11th, and Stat looks like he's going to be able to get away with the AK.
Yeah, not the worst round for Legacy, all things considered. You get 2 kills. You save an AK for the next round. He's got a flashbangers there as well. It all counts. That's $200 saved. And we'll see whether he can hold on to it. Looks like he will. AK-47, very beneficial on the CT side, especially on a map like Mirage. It means you can take challenges towards areas like Palace, a ramp, and have a bit more of a chance of finding that one-bullet headshot. As Renegades will find the 3-0, 11-7 overall. Very likely to close this one out, but Legacy, they can take this demo away and hold their heads high, I would say. They've shown they can at least compete at this level. It's not a complete whitewash, but I feel like Renegades should be winning out at this point. I say that, you never know. Legacy now with the first gun round, they're going to bring Blitz on that AWP again. 7-14 is expecting a bit more from him after seeing some great early rounds. But a timeout here, I'd assume from the Legacy boys, just to work out what they're up against. They've surely watched demos here. They know there's a chance for a bit of an upset. Best of 1, first game of the tournament. Renegades obviously not based in Australia anymore. Bit of jet lag coming in, you never know. You could catch them on off day, which they certainly did in the first few rounds. This one coming in from Azza and Ustillo, the 2 of the 3 Australians within Renegades. Round 19, let's have a look at the overall buy. Legacy with a slight force buy in the second round. Still bring out 2 AWPs here. Soju had a rough game so far. Maybe this will be his saving grace. He'll be joined by Blitz, of course. And you can see 3 players without helmets. I mean, that Galil will be doing a lot of damage into this round. JKS wields that weapon.
I managed to take control of the top of mid pretty quickly. That's Jacob Ustillo, and Ustillo's able to open up onto Stat. So Legacy already losing a man. Nifty leading the charge. Full on Cyclops mode in towards his B-bomb site. And oh, it's Azza to drop blondes just like that. Then they go pouring on in. 3 players charging into the B-bomb site. No one here from Legacy, and this is already looking like a round where you just maybe want to start a back away and give this one up. Soji might try peeking on into it. That's a shot he would have loved to have landed. Az is onto a second, and he's going to go hunting down the rest of these kills as Lakor and Blitz desperately look to try and hold on to this M4, to the AWP. But I mean, this is a surprisingly clean round from Renegades. Just, 2 key kills going their way early on. And nothing answered back from Legacy. There's Blitz able to find 1 onto Azza. But now they know where he is. He's rung the dinner bell.
Yeah, not looking so good for Legacy, I'm afraid, at this point. Obviously, the bomb down in B. Renegades of a clean one. Azza, 2 to his name. Ustillo with a 3rd, and now it's just about Blitz holding this AWP. That frag should have been his, but looks like he'll still hold the AWP. I say that, it actually all goes horribly wrong right at the last hurdle there. Clean sweep by Renegades, and Legacy with what I assume is an eco. They can go for a partial buy, but it feels like we're getting closer and closer to the logical conclusion. And Renegades picking this one up. 12-7. You can see Soju getting back into the game somewhat, but for now, CZ's a bit of armor, just Lakor, and now Soju picking one up as well. 1 HE, and I'd assume a very clean Renegades round coming in.
And that's where things start to get a bit scary now. I think if you are Legacy, they keep it very, very clean in the previous round. They also get rid of any players you had that you were hoping to save. And now they've got a chance to build up that much more money coming into this, just having, those CZs, and as powerful as they are, with only a few of these players sporting armor behind it, you are going to struggle to find too much. Renegades, once again, just going for this, I was going to say a slightly slower round, but with Ustillo and Az are already down here in towards Connector, they are actually picking up the pace. Soju's the man who lies on the other side down here at the bottom of stairs. And now he's playing around in the smoke. It's going to start to fade. Soju, man who struggled quite a bit. He's able to find 1. Azza and JKS do manage to claim 2 and retort. But look at this position from Lakor up in Palace. He's in a position where he could do damage. He wants to try and dethrone Renegades as he starts to creep on in. He knows where Nifty is. He's going to find that first kill, but JKS trades, and now it's all onto Lons.
Well, got his work cut out for him. Desert Eagle, bomb planted, but he might get a free frag here. Unfortunately, misses the one-shot kill. JKS takes him down, 13-7, gathered by the Renegades. An AWP save there as well. 20 kills for young Justin Savage. 21 here. No double AWP set up again for Legacy. Back to just blitz. And it feels like they are dropping off and plummeting out of this game. Great start. Can't stress that enough. They looked great when they got the initial executions, but Renegades look very rusty. This is more what I kind of anticipated coming into this one. We'll have a look though. Legacy, I'd like to see some tricks come out so they can go for an aggressive play, go for a cheeky first pick. Blitz will go towards that connector, but smoked off. Molotov, a little bit awkward as well, but the shot isn't. Takes down Ustillo. 5 on 4, but still a lot of work to do here. Lakor does spot a few towards that A ramp, and they're swarming the site. Needs to hit that shot. It's not the cleanest, but he does get it in the end.
Molotov's going to burn him out. Jacob able to find it in the trade. Well, the bomb's still yet to go down. They're going to start to try and get it planted. Nifty gets picked up by Blitz as the Opera Legacy does best him in that fight. Just Jacob and JKS left, but these two have been so key for Renegades. Time's ticking down. One man under scaffolding, one over towards ramp, and right now JKS is getting their attention. Jacob, he's going to fall. It's JKS. 1 versus 3. He's already picked up the first. He has to try and do that much more, and he's going to do damage. And you maybe start to believe there, Henry, but it's not meant to be. Legacy will be in with an 8th round.
Yeah, I mentioned it before. JKS notorious in those sort of situations. 1 versus 3 is his bread and butter, but unfortunately can't find a single frag there. They were lined up for him. He did get the spray initiated, but couldn't quite finish things off. It'll be Legacy keeping their head above water for now. 13-8. As we get into the next one, plenty of Renegades cash for number 22 here. Legacy now have a massive problem ahead of them, Harry. If they lose this round, that's a really harsh reset. You can see after the reinvestment, 3 players pretty much at $0. Can't afford to lose this one. They lose this round, I hate to say it, it will be GG. That'll be the end of it. So need to find consecutive back-to-back rounds.
Well, it does look like it's all riding on this one for Legacy. He still is over in mid. He's going to go to Molotov out Soji. Actually, he's quite lucky. He's not going to get caught in that. So he's allowed to keep his position over here in connector. Now we're going to start to back away. Legacy, they know the pressure's on. Kind of painted the importance of this round for them. So the tensions are high. Soju over towards the top of connector. Blitz holding back over in the window and watching the aggression in through short. Legacy playing this round. A little bit scared. Don't want to risk giving anything up over here in mid. I'm curious, do we see them try and attempt the boost over onto short if that smoke goes down? Stat's going to be the first man in.
It's all boiling up as Azza manages to get himself towards window, undetected for now. You see Soju, the timing's just awful for him. As soon as he looks in, Az is already snuck by, but Lons, similar sort of play, does take down Ustillo cleanly as well. He was going for the AK, I think. I thought it was going to cost him his life. Luckily gets away with it. Az up, taken down as well. This was a must-win round for Legacy. Now in the 5 versus 3. Renegades head towards B bomb site. Flashes, smokes deployed, and Jacob to lead the charge. Can he find anything? Absolutely not. Stat takes him down. 20 seconds, and that should be it. Legacy looking pretty decent here.
Blitz is going to polish off JKS. It all falls under Nifty. 10 seconds on the clock. No time left in Legacy. A must-win round, and they managed to get it done. They keep 4 players alive as well, so that's everything they needed, Henry, kind of falling into place there. They keep it clean.
Had to be one of their round victories, and it certainly was. Legacy, although it was touch and go, the timing certainly a little bit lucky towards them. It all works out in the end, and it will be 13-9. I think they've broken the money of Renegades, and if the does save the AWP at least. They're going to buy up with what they can, Harry. So we're going to see that AWP, UMPs, pistols, and a couple of AKs into the mix. As we'll see if Renegades can pull this one off. Certainly have potential to do so. But this could be the entry point for Legacy. They break double digits. This one isn't over just yet. Key round here again. Legacy still not established. It's all about the money. See the right-hand side of your screen. They need to be hovering around the 4K mark before they can afford to lose another round. They're certainly not there yet. And Soju using the one-way smoke here just to look towards top and middle. Runs out eventually, have to fall back. And this is a much slower round from Renegades. Hard default. You can see them watching towards middle. A ramp, and of course the B apartments and the underpass. Just making sure that those CTs are pushing in, try and bait out some utility. That looks like a pretty useless flashbang. It's just trying to maybe force out a smoke from the CTs, and Molotov perhaps. As time ticks away, Renegades go for that mid-control. Presumably a smoke towards window as Nifty comes in and focuses towards a connector.
Yeah, smoke is now going to go down over in window. That Molotov isolates the push in from Azza, but Nifty still keen on leading by example. Wants to try and lead the charge up here in towards connector. Smoke now goes down, and that's going to throw a bit of a spanner in the works. There's going to be about 30 seconds left on the clock by the time they let that clear. And Renegades themselves, they've got 1 smoke, 2 Molotovs, and 3 flashbangs to try and play with. Utilities running dry, and that re-smoke, that's really going to start to push them for time. They might even have to go through this, but Soju, he's going to get caught out looking the wrong way. Lakor still down here on the ramp, and this could be disastrous for Renegades if he finds the bomb, if he wins this fight. The timing's not there, Lakor, no! It all came down to that, and he's going to look away just at the wrong time. Suddenly, this round looks good for Renegades. Blitz is down in CT. Oh, he's denied the plant! And now he's made it possible. There's just under 10 seconds left, and Blitz still trying to buy time. He's still chipping away. He's finally going to get shut down. And Renegades going to reach a 14th. What a round. What a back and forth round, Henry, but Renegades managed to get it done.
Soju had that one locked down. He missed the smoke, though, Harry. That was the most important moment. You noticed it. You said it was a good smoke. The timing was great. The placement was awful. So he threw it, what he thought was in the connector entrance, actually went a little bit deeper by the wooden plank right in the corner. He thinks he's safe. And obviously, he has no vision of that. He had another smoke down in front of him. As soon as that first one dissipates, a massive gap is there. Renegades find that first kill. A slight lifeline for Legacy in the form of that orb kill to deny the bomb. But well handled, and so is that. Blitz goes down again. Nifty finds him. And it will be a 5-on-4. As we'll see, Renegades presumably win the round at this point. You can see very low economy for the CT. CZ for Mass, no kits, and Nifty's just picking them off one by one. That's going to be stat dropped at this point. 5-on-3. And I think Soju is the one towards connector. Have a bit of a red face after that. Crucial smoke towards connector, Harry, was completely missed, and that could have cost them the game.
And you kind of feel it's pretty heartbreaking if that's the straw that breaks the camel's back in that regard, right? I mean, that they fight so hard to start to claw this back, and now this whole game's on a knife's edge for them. Yeah, they lose this, and they are very much done. So 3 versus 5. Lakor gonna go searching for something. He's able to find that onto Azza down in towards the bottom of mid. And amongst all this aggression, they've gotten a little bit lost. They've lost sight of the A bomb site. Renegade's gonna be allowed to get this bomb down. The flank round from Lons that this time has to do it all.
They might want to consider saving at this point, but not if Lakor hits a shot like that. Takes down Usillo. Bomb still to be planted. Remember, no kits, barely any utility. They have the AWP. They might want to consider allowing them to get to match point here, but it looks like Legacy are ready and raring to go. Got to go for the retake here. Speculative shot towards the bomb side to try and take down anyone waiting on the other side. Lakor can't hit it, but the flashbang pretty decent. Soju has had an up and down game so far. Lons has had some great moments. This one might be exactly the same. Takes 2 down, and all of a sudden this looks very possible for Legacy. It's Jacob left in the 3 versus 1. The full defuse of no kit, remember. A full 10 seconds required. If Jacob hits his first shot, all bets could be off, and it looks like it's coming through. Now the 1 versus 1 guaranteed for Jacob. No kit available, and that's the round. Legacy will live to regret, Harry, as it all falls apart at the final hurdle, just when it seemed like they had a lifeline there.
What a play from Jacob as well. I mean, he started to wrap back, looking like he was going to head over towards mid. You kind of see him have to make that quick decision to reroute back in towards Palace, and he's able to get it done. And what a clutch from Jacob. Yeah. And, I mean, it was such an almost round right from Lons. He's almost able to get it done. He's had so many fantastic rounds, and I mean, to see it fall apart there when he works so hard to get them back into it, that is heartbreaking. 15-9, and they've forced Sport down into what could be their last round in this match. Nifty, he is going to get naded down early on. That's going to deter him from pushing in towards A, but Renegades, they want to try and close this one out here and now.
Absolutely so. Round 25, and the scout will come out in the hands of Blitz. Lakor pushes the Palace, but JKS just makes absolute mincemeat of them on the A bomb side, looking for his 3rd. Won't convert that quite, but does get information as to where another CT player is. Renegades not going to make any mistakes just yet. Not going to rush in, as they'll maintain the man advantage. It's pretty much the round, or the frag that decides it. Ones will get 1, but the 3 versus 2. Nifty will still be drop tip, still fighting back. As we'll see the bomb planted in the B bomb site. Stat, only the CZ has to try and wait for his teammates. Surely can't just run in.
Soju's going on such a lengthy rotation all the way in through T-spawn. Jacob's going to catch that off guard, and now it's Soju. He went for a very, very long rotation all the way through ramp, and he's kind of put the gamble all into this one round. He's going to be 1v2. A very, very quiet performance in the first half. Now will be the time for him to step it up to try and keep Legacy in this. Time's ticking down. He has to go charging in, and he's going to get finished off by Azza. Renegades, they managed to get it done.
Well, it was a difficult start for them. They looked very rusty in the first few rounds, but overall, Renegades managed to pull it back together. It's a pleasure, Harry. We'll throw it back to the boys on the desk at this point.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much. That's Henry and Harry there. They'll be continuing to guide you through the action as we go through our first day here of the A stream. Not forgetting there is a secondary one. Renegades, though, do weather the storm of a domestic rival. We expected it to be a little bit more close, as it tends to be when you do have domestic teams battling against one another. I have Chad Birchall and Janko Paunovic hanging out. Guys, it was 6-2. Legacy were up. We were seeing mad pistol rounds, P250 drive-bys from Stat. It was an adventure.
Yeah, look, Alex, there's this thing that happens when you have such a stark underdog versus a team that should be, I guess, wiping the floor with them. This is a Super Bowl right now for Legacy, who shouldn't even be in the tournament. They've had to replace Space Soldiers at the last minute. Fact of the matter is, they're playing their hearts out here. Lonsdale did a fantastic performance, putting numbers up. Early on that T side, they did a couple of basic executes, locked Renegades out of sights. Yeah, cool. Renegades found their feet, won the game. That's the analysis.
Okay, sounds like you've got a lot to say, Janko. Anything else?
Back to you, Chad. I mean, you covered it all, right? No, I think it was, the case. I think winning pistol round and losing the force by, right? I heard that's an Aussie classic.
Yeah, the 1-1.
Really, the 1-1. That's actually a thing, But for Legacy, they did their job in a sense that they weren't overcomplicating things. They didn't have too many really elaborate strategies. I guess you can't expect them with a stand-in to have a very deep playbook. It was basic stuff, contact plays, right? Going towards B, and then a smoke pops off for Cat as they get the trade kill, locks out Azza, who was playing towards Cat. They get the side to win the round, but that's very much reliant on getting that entry kill. And like Chad said, as soon as Renegades found their feet and would not give that early kill and give entrance into the bomb site towards Legacy, that's when they started struggling.
Yeah, and when you do take a look at the scoreboard as well, I imagine this is kind of your dream Renegades scoreboard. We have Azza, JKS, and Jacob, all three at the top of the scoreboard. Is that kind of where it needs to be?
Yeah, of course. Azza and JKS.
Those are the three
towards the top for me. It doesn't really matter who that third star is.
Okay.
I think, look, if they start on the T side, they're doing a lot of set pieces. You still might not find a lot of kills. Depends on the spacing, the pacing, all that kind of stuff. But in terms of the mentality here, I think it's good for Renegades that they get a warm-up game, so to speak, when they come into their next matchup, which is going to be a lot more difficult. And they need to have that mental shift into, hey, we're going up against a tougher opponent right now. We need to really focus.
Yeah, and tougher opponents are on the horizon as well. Let's not forget our next game is going to be Cloud9 versus Greyhound. Going to have to talk about that one. I guess we can take a break now. I don't know. I haven't received word. Yep, sounds like we can. So let's go ahead and do that because I want to have ample time to discuss our next battle. It will be Cloud9 versus Greyhound, another Australian roster battling versus a Titan from the North American region. So let's take a break and we'll be talking all about it after this.